Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Simon Gertzen with Simon Says, and due to popular demand I'm going to do a Invasion Planeshift Apocalypse draft. Now, I started playing with Ursa's Saga, which means that I've been exposed to all of these cards, but I don't think I've played a sanctioned draft or any real life draft with this set. But I did follow coverage quite a bit. It's also possible that this was the time where I was doing net drafts and being active during my time as an exchange student in the US. So even though I wasn't really playing competitively at this point, Invasion and the sets after that were basically the point where I was becoming more interested in being a competitive player. So my first PDQs were with the beginning of Onslaught, basically. So just to give you some history on myself. Now, I might have done a couple of drafts of Invasion on the early days of MTGO beta, maybe even on the live client, I don't know. But I don't really have a clue what to do. So what I did beforehand was to check the web. Basically, I just Googled for this format and I found out some interesting stuff. And I can really just suggest this whenever you are drafting something which people have drafted before but you are not experienced with. Just check out what strategy, sites, and coverage has to offer. Now, this is from a time where, well, we didn't have live streams and regular articles and archives that you can still access. So what I did was actually what I found helpful was a thread which was done in preparation for the MTGO Community Cup because they did draft Invasion there at some point. So I read through this and I saw that the main points were that removal is good and abundant in this format. You don't have to settle for bad removal. The format is quite slow and the board tends to get really cluttered. Of course, this is from a time where creatures aren't really on par or comparable to the power level of today's creatures, so spells are more dominant, or are to be expected to be more dominant. I'm not going to go into the themes of this set. I think you know about the multicolored nature, and there is some color changing and basic land types mattering and changing going on. The most important thing is that Apocalypse is the enemy colored set, whereas Invasion and Planeshift has the allied colored pairs and the shards being relevant, while Apocalypse has the wedges. So this makes for weird drafting, but what I've read is that it's better to stick to a shard and then see what you can pick up in Apocalypse, rather than going for a wedge and hoping that the right and more powerful cards are there in Apocalypse. This isn't an overly powerful format compared to today's standards, so it isn't like you are getting insane cards rewarding you for this risk. Now, as a general strategy, I'm going to try, if possible, to stay away from white, because the removal heavy colors are just very strong in this set. I've heard that blue is very good. I've also heard that black-red is a good combination. And from black-red you can move either into Grixis, so pairing black-red with blue, or Jund, pairing black-red with green. And this seems like a good idea in a slow format where you usually play 17 or 18 lands and the mana bases look pretty horrible. Sometimes you have some creatures fixing your mana, but sometimes you simply have one non-basic lands and then a 6/6/5 mana base. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know how it goes. I don't know what to expect, but it's going to be interesting. I hope you enjoy the show.